Hello, everyone, and welcome to the NLG show. It is Friday night. The feeling's right, and we're here to talk some video games tonight. What's going on, everybody? We got a little full house tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Look at this. Look at these beautiful people on the bottom of the screen here. Some good friends, some long ago friends that come back to say hi. I don't know. Welcome, everybody, and as everybody knows, I am Mike Mullis. Going down the list, next up is...
Hey, this is Peter, a.k.a. HDK. What's going on, man?
And this is Chris Williams, a.k.a. Fastback 6768. What's going on?
All right. We got two very, very great special guests with us tonight as we are here for our Xbox Year in Review show. First off, actually, I'm gonna go Hebrew style here, Sam. I'm gonna go right to left because I want to get you first. I want to get South second because South's got a lot to talk about. So first, it's Sam Tolbert, our man from. I forgot to put the rest of your. I'll get that in there. The rest of your Twitter. Sam Tolbert from the Inner Circle Network, our affiliate host and good friend of ours. How you doing, brother?
Good. I've been doing really well, man. I've been busy. It has been way too long, but I'm glad to be here.
Yes, it has. Have you ever been on our show?
Yes, I did. Right before.
Wow,
Xbox
you don't even remember, Mike? That's cool.
It's been a long time.
Mike.
I've been on his show.
Blame it on the old age.
That's right. There you go. There you go. The old man.
I can't remember, Sonny.
OG gamers, that's what happens.
That's what happens when you get old. I can't help it. No, man, it's good to have you. It's good to have you back. I know I've been on Gamers Perspective with you, so that's how I know I've been on with you before. I couldn't remember. And you went to E3 and left me with Anchorman. So
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What do you want me to say?
So just
well, the good thing with Anchorman, he's a nice, strong fellow. So he help you hold everything up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we had a really cool super show with Anchor and Cal from Tick. We did the E3 Xbox press conference together. It was really cool. We multi-streamed it. Here and on their YouTube page. It was really a neat experience. So
I've gone back and watched that like 3 times. It was really impressive.
Yeah.
That was really good.
So we were really happy. And so glad to have you on. It's a great night. And now, man, it has been a long time since I've been on the air with this man. Southbound 110. He doesn't like it when I call him that, but he is the Xbox VIP.
Oh, man. You're going to make me blush. You know what I mean?
He is beloved by the Redmond team. He knows it. And
he's got Phil on speed dial.
Phil calls him for advice. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
So I got to get your I'm going to get there you go. Popping back in and out. But man, it is great to have you on and talk to you again. And how's things with you?
Actually, I'm just in the middle of moving, so it's a little bit hectic. Just, like I said, just because I moved 70 miles away from where I used to live, so going back and forth, I've done about 4 or 5 trips, this week, and just moving everything. It's just been crazy, but I had to make some time for my buddy Mike and the rest of the gang, and like I said, it's been a very, very long time since I've been on the NLG, and
yes.
I told him, you know what, I can't make any promises, but I'm gonna do my best to try, and
here you are.
Here I am.
Must have been a long time. That's before my time, so
I remember the last. You know what? I remember when it was you and I wasn't even on it. You and Enrique did a Destiny podcast.
Oh, that's right.
You took over
yes,
NLG for a night. You guys did a Destiny.
You know what's funny, Enrique? When we get together, him and I, we just shut the shit down and we take over podcasts.
Yeah, you guys had. I wasn't even because I didn't get Destiny, so I wasn't even part of that show. I got to listen as a listener.
Yeah, how awkward is that? Your own podcast, you just get tossed to the wayside.
I got tossed aside like garbage. It's all right.
Right? He's like, man, I'm just paying the bills and keep the lights on, but go ahead.
So now I want to know what's going to happen with Destiny. We got to talk about that a little bit tonight. That's big, big, big
Oh
news.
yeah, that's
Big
definitely
news.
got the Twitterverse, just jumping right now.
Yeah. So
was a surprise.
maybe we'll hit that after we get done with the meat of what we're talking about tonight. But the reason I wanted to get you last too, and while you're talking, I'm going to adjust my light because I look like a ghost. Other big news. This got talked about before the holidays, and I know it makes a lot of people happy. Especially, I'm one of them because I really loved a certain podcast that was on Monday nights that is returning to the fold.
Indeed, it is. Yes, in this crowded, space that is podcast these days.
Yeah.
I mean, do we even fit in anymore? You know what I mean? It's like, back in my days when we used to podcast. You know what I mean? We're gonna have to try to, reestablish, our spot.
But
See if we can come back and
you can.
hold our weight in this crowded climate. You know what I mean?
It is the return of TXR. I was like, when you tweeted that out, man, I actually pumped my fist in the air. I mean, there are shows that did it, that do it right, and even if the centric shows, whether you're Xbox centric, PS centric, I don't know if there are any Nintendo centric shows, but you gotta draw that line where you're not. Tick is that way. Tick does it right. I'm sorry, Sam. Sam's looking at me like, you're forgetting one. I mean,
right.
We're media now.
no,
we're not just straight
obviously,
podcasters. That's
right.
the thing. It's a little different.
Right. Yeah. But I mean,
well, we definitely are Xbox fans, but we gave everybody respect and their due, righteousness. You know what I mean? So, like I said, even though we're Xbox fans and more Xbox centric, everybody else got their shine as well. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We picked apart everything: Xbox, PlayStation, Nintendo, whatever. Soldier Boy, you know what I mean? Everybody got the business.
Yeah, but so who's coming back as far as who's on the panel?
Well, unfortunately, we lost Randall and Macca. Those guys, they're successful without us. You know what I mean? And much love and respect to them, but they declined. Obviously, they're busy. They got their own things going, and because we kind of it took a while for it to come back together, and and like I think even with Rand, because he told me, I had to sleep on it, and kind of wrestled with it, toss and turn, and he just, a lot of people didn't, like I said, we because we're coming back, so we have to kind of see if the magic is still there. You know what I mean? We don't want to tarnish the name of TXR.
Sure.
And like, I'm not trying to toot our own horn, but we had a lot of respect in the community, and likewise we gave respect. So I hope that we can do justice to the show that was previously. So coming back is, we got Jeremy, we got the Tim Dog, we got Doc Cupcake, we got Invader, who's now, and we also got Megatron joining us.
Oh, nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, so that's everybody, right?
That's a good group.
I hope so. You know what I mean? We all get along. Tim and I, Megatron, Jeremy. We've all hung out in real life multiple times. We just, it's all love. You know what I mean? Like I said, we're gonna miss Mac and Rand. But much love to those guys, and I wish them nothing but success and whatever they're doing. You know what I mean? Like I said, I still talk to them. There's no hate or bad blood or anything like that. But and I also we lost. Yeah, exactly. We lost Inferno. You know what I mean? But hey, everybody's life is different. So personally, everybody had to make a decision for themselves. You know what I mean? So anytime they want to come on, their family, their original members, they're more than welcome to come back, anytime. So I just, like I said, I hope that we don't make a fool out of ourselves. You know what I mean?
No, and you know what? I have no doubt that will not happen. I mean, you guys, it's all good. It's all good gamers there. That's the important part. It's about gaming at the end of the day. No matter what you game on,
Obviously.
it's about gaming at the end of the day. And it's what we subscribe to here. We talk games. We play games. We are games. It's
Well,
a great,
at the end of the day, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut you
No, no.
off. At the end of the day, like you said, it's games. It's the immersion of the gaming. What they have to offer. It's the online community. I forget who I was talking to about it, and I was saying, I've met people from Xbox Live that are like my best friends in real life. You know what I mean? I can't believe something like a game console would establish friendships like that. And like I was saying about Tim Dog or Megatron or Jeremy Doc, we've all been at each other's houses. You know what I mean? And mostly they've been to my house. But we broke bread together. We've had drinks together, and it's just it's a family. It's all love, and I can't say how appreciative I am enough, for the online community.
Well, and so when are you going? When are you on? So let's get that too, so people know where to find you.
We're coming back the 20th of this month, which is Sunday.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
So hopefully
What time?
BGST don't knock us out too bad. You know what I mean? Those guys are the heavyweight champs, of Sunday night. So hopefully we can kind of eat by. You know what I mean?
All right. What time are you going on?
You know what? I offhand, I think, now don't quote me, but I think 9 o'clock Eastern, but it might be 10 o'clock Eastern, but don't quote me. There'll be tweets and everything else going crazy, prior. So,
All right. Well, we'll tweet it out for you too.
well, I appreciate that. And that's another thing. We've gotten a lot of great feedback from people. Hey, you know me, Mike. I hate to use the word fans. You know what I mean? Because I don't think that I have fans. That TXR has fans. We got listeners. We got family. We got friends. You know what I mean? And fans is to me like I'm above everybody. You're my fan. You know what I mean? That
Right.
to me that's just so douchey, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Because listen, I'm a fan of gaming, so I just think everybody's like brethren. You know what I mean? It's all family.
That's
So
how.
so for me to say, that they're fans of mine, that would make me think that I'm bigger than somebody or above somebody,
Yeah.
and I don't think that way.
Yeah, it's how we feel about the folks that we game with, and are, Peter and Chris are my gaming family, and the folks in the chat room who come in here every Friday night to hang out with us. We wouldn't even be here without them. I mean, they are the reason that we exist, and so I've in the same way. I mean, God, Peter, we're going on 3 years now, right?
I think so.
Yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah, just
Time flies. So
we've
does.
been through things, gaming wise, non-gaming wise. Almost got to his house once.
yeah.
Hello.
He said just almost.
Almost. I had to.
So
Unfortunately,
close.
work got in the way, but I almost had lunch with him. I mean, it's just and Coop, who's in. I know it's all Coop in the room there. These guys, we play as much as possible, as much as I can get on. And
Well, see, but you don't have to see somebody in person or actually have lunch or whatever to be friends. You know what I mean?
No.
Hey,
Exactly.
you'd be surprised. Even just playing games with somebody every day, or or just jumping in a party chat with them, you really do get to know people from online. And
Absolutely.
like I was saying before, it's crazy. I never thought in a million years you'd be able to establish relationships and friendships through gaming.
Yeah, and you do, and I mean all around the world, and it's crazy. I mean, I cherish it because
I'm old enough to remember the days before broadband. You know what I mean? So, like you said, all around the world, and I remember thinking to myself, "Holy crap!" I'm talking to people in like England and Europe and just other countries, and it's instantaneous. I couldn't believe it that you could establish, like I said, friendships and to people in different countries.
Yeah, and game with them and hang out with them. I mean, we got Annihilator 83. He's on the other side of the world. We got a few people that jump in. We used to have guys that streamed for us that were from, where were they from? Finland.
Finland.
They were fine Finns. Peter's here now, but he grew up elsewhere, and I love the connections we make online. It's so awesome.
The camaraderie is just a beautiful thing. There's going to be negativity and everything in life, but the mostly positive feedback and the trajectory of everything has been great. And like I said, I can't be any more appreciative to the people that have shown us love on Twitter and Xbox Live and everything. It's it's a beautiful thing.
It is. It's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely.
All right. Oh, Dirty J. Everybody's joining us tonight. We got a full house, man.
Nice.
I'm happy. All right, so let's get to what's going on for us this week. So, as I mentioned, this week we are doing our Xbox year in review. I'm gonna find a better picture than that. Let's go with this one. That'll work.
Well, I love it because my picture is right above that Xbox One, so the Emerald King is happy.
So a couple weeks ago, before New Year's, we had PlayStation Braun. We did a PlayStation year in review show. Went over all the great things about the PlayStation and the year they had. Xbox had not a slouchy year themselves. Doing very well with the Xbox One X. Some solid games that came out this year.
It's the most powerful console, man. You can sit there and console word all you want, but facts is facts.
That is a fact.
It is a fact. And I'll tell you, ever since I got my 4K TV, man, I understood.
Oh, my goodness.
I now understood. Yes. Even though
sweet baby Jesus, 4K is the real deal.
Even though I've been told my TV is a trash Walmart TV, still.
What TV?
Hey,
at least
wait, what TV do you have?
I got the Samsung NU 7100.
Okay, I mean that's pretty good, dude. That's pretty good. I've got the Samsung NU 8000,
which is
so it's like it's like the one right
below it, right?
That in the series,
you're right. Mine is the one right.
I got the little bootleg LG, so you know what? I don't care.
I mean, dude, if it's a Samsung, it's automatically above like the TCLs or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
well, I got my TCL at Target. That's better than the Walmart brand he got. Come on now.
Hey, you know what? Hey, honestly, I hear a lot of good things about those TCLs.
For the price, they're great.
Yes.
You know what? Hey, a lot of people shitted on Vizio, but I had a Vizio for
I'll tell you what, man, Vizio
4 or 5 years, and hey, that 1080p screen was damn good.
Vizio does not make bad equipment. I think they just get a stigma because they're cheap.
Well, yeah, because they're budget brand. But you know what? I didn't have one complaint.
No, look, my TV was sub $2,000, but let me tell you, $1,700 from me is still an awful lot of money to spend on a television.
Most people it is. I don't. There's a lot of ballers out there that I'll wipe my butt with 1,700. But you know what? It's
okay,
good for a lot of people.
Good for you, right?
At least you have a 4K TV. I'm still at 1080p.
Well, Mike, you can go blow some 14,000
super
for
sampled,
8K. Come on.
You've got the super sampling.
Super sampling.
So Dirty says Team TCL.
That's right.
Thank you,
Dirty.
So ever since I got that TV, and I got it for my birthday, so I haven't had it that long. But man, the more games that I play on it, the more wowed I am. Even back, I'm still playing games like Assassin's Creed Origins, Super Mega Baseball 2. I went back and checked out Halo Master Chief Collection and 5.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, these is just sweet looking games. And so I get it now. I get what the selling point of the Xbox One X was, and I've already been proven wrong. I already had to mea culpa myself to the community about the price and how I thought it would sell.
The funny thing is because the whole start with the Xbox One and the sub 900p and everything else, and I never seen a difference until 4K. Granted, I wear glasses. You know what I mean, so I'm a little blind, but I never saw a big difference.
I didn't
until 4K. Then I was like, okay, now I have to eat my words, because I was sitting there for the last 3 years, bragging, oh, I don't care, it doesn't matter, 900, 720, it's all the same to me, 1080, and then that glorious 4K, and I was just like drooling. Oh my goodness, it's so beautiful. I felt like the Bug's Life. I can't help it. It's so beautiful. Banging my head against the screen,
I get it, and I'm torn. Do I want to upgrade my PS4 to a Pro, or do I want to wait for whatever's coming down the pike? Because now I want to see.
A lot of people have that problem. It's like, okay, so in the next year there's going to be another console coming out, and what to do?
Yeah, because I want to see God of War and that goodness now.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, the other thing
I would say I'm biased, but I would say hold on at this point. It's not. It's like it's coming next year, so just hold on at this point.
Right, and I've had a lot of people tell me that I'm you saying next year gives it a heck of a lot more credence than most people. I know you've got a good basis for the things you say. So, it's just, I want to, there's some goodness I want to see over on that side too. And I want to see what some of those games look like. Anyway, back to Xbox. So we've had some really solid games this year too. Leading up to some of their big announcements, I think that, and I'll say it, I think for the most part, the lineup from this year was underappreciated to an extent.
Well, because as you said, they had the God of Wars and the Spider-Man, it's just they got overshadowed, plain and simple.
They did. But it doesn't mean that they didn't come with some real solid games to play. I mean, I'd say up until late in the year, when I started to kind of get into the PSVR a little bit more, I was still primarily playing games on the Xbox side. That's it. Just
Mike, come on, let's be honest. You swing more to the Xbox side, anyways.
Not always. It depends on what's out there. I mean, I've spent a considerable amount of time with God of War, and there's some games that on the PS side that took over my.
Well, I'm not just talking about the games per se. I'm talking about the community general, and
yes.
On live, the party chat and stuff like that.
Yeah, when I'm socializing and things like that, you're right. That absolutely. There's been, because that's where my friends are.
See, exactly. You just hit the nail on the head, and I think a lot of people forget that fact that the community is a big part of my gaming experience. It's not just the games. It's like you said. It's where your friends are.
No doubt.
If most of my friends were on PlayStation, I might be on PlayStation. Well, I don't even have PlayStation now, but I mean, if my friends were on there, I maybe would have one. You know what I mean?
True. Yep.
Yeah. But there have also been times when I've played a game, thanks to, and some of this has to do with a lot of the technology that Microsoft's brought to the Xbox Live platform. There's been times when I've been playing something on a PS4 and jumped on an Xbox party on my phone. I mean, so I've done some of that.
Isn't that
too.
amazing?
It is amazing. It is absolutely amazing.
You know, I'd be driving down the freeway and get a party invite, and so just pop it up, and it comes over the speakers of my car, and I'm in a party chat. That's amazing. And that was one of the things I told Phil a couple years ago. I said, you know what, man, I can't wait till there's an app on your phone that you could and he just kind of gave me that little just sit back, and I'm like, wink, okay.
See, this is it, man. They listen to you. You don't think they do?
Listen to me. They don't listen to me, but there's definitely a bug in somebody's ear.
Yeah, and look, one of the things that they did a lot this year was listen to the community, and you got to give them credit for that. They continue. They do, but they don't have to do it so vocally. They're the one company of the three, in all honesty, where for better or for worse sometimes, they are way out in the community as far as Twitter goes, as far as talking to fans, as far as wrapping their arms around the people that play their games. You got to
give what
them
I think that's
that.
my biggest argument towards Xbox is because now, like I said, I know I'm biased. There's no way I can deny it. You know what I mean? But there's a reason why. Is because, like you just said, they're executives, they're employees, they're out in there in the community, and they're they don't act like it's a job, and it just doesn't seem fake to me when when they're out there and they're with the fans and everything.
Yeah,
they do seem.
To me, they
natural,
seem like
genuine.
they're gamers first.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
And, executives, etc. second.
Yeah, absolutely. When I got to meet Mike Ybarra earlier this year for the first time at E3, all we did was, I think, just talk about PUBG and how excited he was for Anthem and stuff like that. And we were laughing and talking about that, and talking because it was the night before their E3 conference. So I was kind of ribbing like, Mike, do I need to be concerned? Is it going to be okay? Is it okay to be excited? And he's like, nah, we got this. It'll be good. But yeah, but it was mostly gamers.
That was the night at the rooftop, right?
Yes, it was. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that was, and I met Dan McCulloch there as well, the head of Xbox Live. Again, just he's a gamer. That's all there is to it. They play games.
Yeah, I got pretty buzzed that night.
But they do. You have to give them that, no matter what you feel about the platform, the game output, and I'm going to say where they were with their first party output, because that is going to change dramatically. As we know, and it's one of the things we'll talk about as the year went on. You can't say that they weren't in with the fans. It's been one of their strong suits.
Well, the Xbox Fan Fest is a big testament to that. The way that's grown on these past few years.
And that's funny because they don't just do it here in the States or the West Coast, East Coast. They do it every country they go to. Yeah. Their big X18 was in Mexico. You know what I mean? So, like, how could you not respect that? I see a lot of the pro ponies, sitting there and they talk about Phil and Major and everything, and it's like, where's the Sony guys at? No, and I'm not saying they're not all there, you know what I mean? But it's more skewed towards the Xbox guys out in the community. And like I said, maybe it's because they have to, because they're trailing, and they obviously they don't have the first party lineup that Sony does. So maybe Sony feels like, well, they don't have to be out there like that.
Well, I think
could be a different corporate climate too. I mean,
definitely.
Yeah,
it's a mixture of things. There's a lot of different factors going into it.
I tend to agree with Peter. I think it's the mentality. I don't think it has anything. I think because they were out there when they were leading. These guys, Peter Moore was out there when they were
There it is.
My man, my man.
That's his guy right there.
That's my boy. That's my man right there. I am so sorry.
He's a good guy.
So sorry.
And I know we've had this conversation many times when I've seen him at E3 at the Xbox at the Galen Center, and we were walking behind the scenes, backstage, and he walked past me, and I said, "Hey, how you doing, Pete?" And he stopped dead in his tracks, and shook my hand, and pictures and all that, and it's just like you don't see that every day.
No. I mean, I've told this story before. The times back in the day when I was going to E3, he I'd be in the booth getting ready for my appointment with whoever I was talking to that day, and there wasn't a time he had passed by me. He stopped, turned, said hi, asked me how my kids were, talked to me for a minute, and then he had hey, I got to run, I got to go see, but just stopped. He didn't have to do that. These are this is I've had a meal with that guy before. I mean, that's the kind of, but that's always been. So, that's why I agree with Peter about the corporate mentality thing. It's that they've been that friendly with people when they were ahead. I think it's just the culture, and it's a good thing.
When Don Matrick was in charge, things changed.
See, I was going to ask you that. Have you been to the E3s before last gen, and did you ever meet Don Matrick and some of the?
You know what? Listen, that's my favorite thing. Is I never liked Don Matrick. He was too cocky, and he thought he could just push the TV stuff down everybody's throats, and they would just love it. And that was his downfall. That was his Achilles heel. I did see him at E3 at the Xbox press conference, and I went up to say hello or whatever, and he just I might as well have been a ghost. He looked right past me, walked right past me, and totally shined me on. And to me, I thought, hey, yeah, you're the head of Xbox, but you know what? You don't have to treat your customers like that. Right. And it pissed me off. And the next year, Phil was in charge, and I said, "Hey, you're the people's champ." And he reached out, shook my hand, gave me a hug, and I said, "Wow, what a difference a year makes." You know what I mean? And right there, I was an Xbox fan anyways, but I did sour a lot because of Don Matrick. And I don't get me wrong, I love the Kinect. It didn't bother me one bit. I know a lot of people are, what the hell with the Kinect? I never used it. I liked it. Day one, I used it. My wife used it. I loved it, and but they. I'm not trying to say they bit off more than they can chew with it, because we've talked about this subject. Everybody has a million times. We're not going to retread that. But yeah, Don Matrick, he was just an asshole, and I'll never have respect for him. And that's why I'll forever love and respect Phil, because he treated me not as a fan, but as a friend. Day one, and hats off to him for forever.
I think part of it is you don't. These guys to me are not. They're not movie stars. They're not. I mean, they're employees. They work for a company. I don't expect my clients to treat me like like I'm a movie star. It's just I work for them. That's what they do. So I never tried to treat them like that. But I always enjoyed the fact that there's been times I've sent Phil a couple of DMs, and he's responded, and he's and just he doesn't have to do that. He's busy, but he does.
Oh yeah, and that's crazy, because I know one time I had an issue with something, and he was like, "Email me first thing Monday morning," and I go, "No, I'm not gonna I'm gonna bother the head of Xbox on something so trivial." And he goes, "Stop it." He's like, "Sal, stop it." He's like, "Email me." And I said, "Are you sure, man? This is not. It's not a big deal. You shouldn't be worried. Have to." He said, "Don't worry." He's like, he got mad at me. He's like, "You better email me." And I was like, "Okay, sorry." You know what I mean? Sorry, I will. And by God, I emailed him, and 2 hours later, my issue was gone, completely handled. he passed it off to the head of whatever, part of the company that needed to be taken care of, and boom blam, they're calling me on my phone. Within 3 days, it was taken care of. And you don't get that every day, talking more about Phil, and I know a lot of people say, "Oh, South, you just kiss his ass and everything," and I've told him that a million times. It's like every time I give you a compliment, it just seems like I'm kissing ass, but it's not. I'm not kissing ass. It's like legit, because what head of a company takes the time to listen and cooperate? And for instance, he asked me, I think it was Gamescom. I don't remember which one, and it was a couple years ago. And he's like, "South, what'd you think about it?" And I was like, "Damn," because I really didn't care for it. And I was like, "Do you want me to lie, or you want me to tell you the truth?" He goes, "No, tell me the truth. What did you think?" And I said, "All right, I'm not gonna BS you. Here it is." And he said, "Those are all fair arguments. I don't discredit you one bit." He's like, "Nope, that's good." And right there, I thought I couldn't have any more respect for him than I already did, and I was proven wrong again. You know what I mean? So it's just, like I said, I just appreciate the guy for his friendship and his honesty, and for him being a humble person.
Yep.
When you talk about Don Matrick and anybody, now I ain't gonna say no names or anybody in specific, but they were miserable. At the Xbox company, the employees, they were miserable under that guy. And then Phil came in and just, shot of adrenaline to the heart and changed everything. Obviously, it hasn't been all roses and sunshine up in Redmond, but it was a complete 180 from the Matrick days. That's for sure.
Well, and I think one of the themes of 2018 here has been the continued kind of rebirth of the brand. I mean, to where they are now. So,
just like talking about the 1X, that was Phil's baby. That's what should have come out from the Xbox One.
Right.
And Phil was proud of it. He was very, very proud of the 1X.
Just should have left that Connect adapter in.
Right. Hey, I love the Connect. You know what I mean? I always will.
I'm using it as my webcam right now.
See?
Look at that.
And you look beautiful, my friend.
Hey, they included a good camera for 2013. It was high quality.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. And the tracking on it was pretty badass too.
Yeah, it was. Still, I turn my Xbox on, I go to my games and apps, and every once in a while I forget that Fantasia's still on there, and I'm like, I can't play it. I'm mad. So I'm with it. I'm with that. So, but going through the stuff that happened last year. So let's start with one of their. I think we lose you fast or South. We lose you.
Yeah, looks like it.
Oh, he may have. All right, we'll see if we get him back.
Froze up there. Yeah.
Here.
All right. Oh, while we're waiting to get him back, so one of the games that has come out and has had a very interesting path to where it is now, of course, is Sea of Thieves. And I know between Peter and Chris and Sam and me to a lesser extent, but you guys are the beasts at this game. In fact, Peter, you're the pirate legend here.
Pirate legend. Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's a place where we hang out every night, pretty much. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. So, been there.
It's our sea box. It's our sea box, not sandbox, but sea
not
box.
sandbox, but sea box.
Yes.
Right.
We're not salty, but no. But I mean, it's a great game. I had fun since day one, just trying to get to the legends and all the stuff that they have been adding over time. I mean, it's like the other day, Mike, you joined, and it's like, oh wow, they added all this stuff. You haven't seen it in a while, and that's like, I mean, it's a ton of fun.
Well, and you don't have to pick back up if you lost your time. I mean, you're if you and Nate and Juan and Chris, you guys are all very upper level guys, and I'm not. I'm probably I'm like level 15, level 16 on a couple of things, and Sal says connection lost. I was trying to get you back. I was still able to jump in with no problem and run with you guys again.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beauty of Sea of Thieves. It doesn't matter what level anybody is.
Right.
Yeah. They don't go like some games. You're at a higher level, and it makes it harder for someone who is a lower level to actually game with them and be in certain areas with them. But not Sea of Thieves. You just got to worry about the PC players.
Yeah.
Well, that's the
crossplay is a little dicey in a sense.
We've heard some positive news lately about some changes, so
looking
forward to see what they actually do and how they implement it.
Well, this is a game that's evolved,
yes.
that started out, as a game that everybody, cranked on as shallow and lifeless and all kinds of stuff. Now, now it's like it's a living world that, nice. Yeah,
I found this at a flea market. That's look, it's my
cool.
ship, my galleon.
Yeah.
Neat. Oh, it's his wireless. So South's wireless is going up on him. So let me know when it comes. Oh wait, I think we got him.
My back.
There he is.
Yay, we got him.
Here as soon as he pops up.
Yeah, right. Stupid wireless.
It's all right.
Good Lord.
Oh,
2019, damn it! What the hell?
I know, man. Where's that 5G?
Yeah, right.
It's supposed to be coming. Yeah.
Need that ASAP.
Yes. So we were talking about Sea of Thieves. It was the first.
Yeah, I did see that. I was sitting there and I'm like, "Hello, can you guys hear me?" But then I seen in the corner, it was all blue, and I was like, "Dang it!"
Oh.
So Sea of Thieves. Now I didn't hear what you guys had to say about it, but I didn't play as much as I'd like to, and I'm embarrassed to say because I love the team at Rare and Chris and everybody there. They're just amazing, and they love the community. And you know what? You can say what you want about the graphics and not having a great campaign, but the co-op is really really fun. I couldn't steer the ship to save my life. You know what I mean? And those damn skeletons always stab me to death. But I had a lot of fun playing it. From what little gameplay I did actually do, I had a lot of fun with it. And like I said, I think it was more about the co-op than it was the actual game. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a social game.
Yeah, definitely. Because you got the pirate legends who just carry you basically, and that helps out tremendously.
Yeah.
Like I said, I suck at the game, and I was constantly getting destroyed by skeletons, and if it wasn't for my legend buddies, then it would have been a shitty game.
No. Well, but as we were talking about, even though like the leveling itself doesn't translate to skill, it just it's their experience. They know how. But you can. It's not like the Division where if you are level 10 and they're level 30 and you're getting whacked,
and you're just getting mowed down. Yeah, no, exactly.
Or Destiny 2. As much as I love Destiny, that's one of my biggest problems with it. Is like it seems like if you miss a week, then the meta has completely changed, and now you got to do a ton of grinding, and your friends are like, hurry up, we can't run the raid yet.
And then you're the weakest link in the chain, and then you're feeling bad. You're like, just go ahead without me, guys. That's why I haven't jumped back into Destiny 2, because I'm so far behind. I'm like, who's gonna come? Who's gonna help me? Who's gonna, go all the way back to the beginning and carry me, basically? I don't know. It just seems, now correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like Destiny 2 isn't like Destiny 1 where it only take you like a day or so to catch up.
It seemed a little bit easier to level up in Destiny 2 than it did the first one.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, maybe I'm so far out of the loop, I don't even know. Because I haven't played the latest DLC, so
I haven't either. So you got to get with the Iron Lords on that one.
the Iron Lord podcast.
Lord King, he'll carry you.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
Those are a good group of guys. I'll tell you one thing, man.
Yeah. So they have their they've got that whole clan thing going. Yeah, it's
Well, you have to. Definitely, you have to.
Yeah.
You gotta have your group of guys that, especially when you're running raids. Everybody knows their spots, and you don't have to like, hey, where you at? What are you doing? It's just it's like a shoe. Your foot slides in, boom. You start walking.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Sea of Thieves, in brief, in summary, because others have talked this game to death in more detail than I can right now. Was it what I wanted it to be at launch? No, it wasn't. It wasn't 100% there. That's just the reality of it. But at the same time, Rare has done a phenomenal job updating it, bar some crossplay stuff going on right now, and that's a whole other discussion. They've done a great job providing content. The arena looks fantastic. The Megalodon was well received. The Shrouded Spoils update. That's the reason my team and I voted it our best multiplayer game of the year. Not that there aren't other games that had more content at launch, but because of how unique it is and what a big social platform it's been, and the way Rare has updated it for free. No microtransactions. They completely shelved the pets and everything for now, and that is extremely impressive, and I'm very excited to see where Sea of Thieves goes in 2019. Despite what people think, it's been a success.
And who doesn't like getting shot out of a cannon?
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or getting drunk and throwing up on your friends.
Right.
Or screaming in terror and humming the Jaws theme when the Meg comes running at you, or swimming at you, rather. It's, it's great.
But
I mean, I've been playing this game for so long, but each time somebody shoots out of that cannon, that's just fantastic. I'm laughing like crazy, man.
But that Meg is cool as hell. It's like whenever it comes up on you, and you're like, you just got to stare at it for a while. It's like this game is just swimming around, just kind of hanging out with you, and you can shoot it if you want, whatever. But real quick, I want to give a quick shout out. You guys here, Mike, HEK, Crazy One, Nate, Coop, Siberian Chat, Sam, and Anchorman, anybody, Monkey Punch, anybody I played Sea of Thieves with. That's the biggest thing that made this game one of my game of the year for 2018 was the fun factor and just hanging out with you guys and all that. That's what made it the game of the year for me. So regardless what anybody said about it, I definitely like Sam. I understand where he's coming from, what other people were hoping, but no, it's a game that belongs in game with us.
Yep.
So I'm glad it's part of Xbox.
His wireless went out again.
I mean, what's great about it is it's in Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a Game Pass.
Anybody with a Game Pass can try it out and.
A great debut game for Game Pass.
Absolutely. It really was.
What's up, Jago?
And the thing is, we talked about this before, but it bears repeating. Rare could have packed it in and said, we're getting all these bad reviews. Even though it's selling well, it's not, charting and all the time. And I mean, it's a commercial failure from the perspective of it's not, God of War and all that stuff. They could have packed it in, and you know what? Everybody had thought, well, what happens if this isn't a success? Is Phil going to scuttle not only the game, but scuttle? Is he going to shut down Rare? Is he going to,
no pun intended.
You're right, no pun intended. But not only did that not happen, but Rare has continued to put work and effort and time into the game to make it where it is right now. In May, end of May was Hungering Deep. The Bilge Rat Adventures came in June. At the end of in July came the Sunken Curse. Curse Sales came in July. Forsaken Shores, which I haven't even gotten a chance to mess with yet. I haven't been to an island with a volcano yet, and I that's got to be something spectacular
cool.
to see on my television. And then the latest one, the Shrouded Spoils, in November, and they're talking about 2019 continuing to develop the game. So they've stuck with it, and they've made it into something that is unbelievably fun. And you guys are right, totally social.
Mm-hmm. And not only that, but not only is Rare not being downsized or closed down, Rare has doubled in size since 2014, and they're continuing to hire like crazy and grow. So, there's that too.
It's the game they wanted to make. So,
people forget
like I said, when it first was announced and the way they sold it, the way I thought it was, I saw it, they sold it to me as a social game. You want to play with friends. This is what it's all about. You got to help each other sell. Someone's got to steer. Someone's got to work the cells. This and that, the map, and how they sold it is how I'm playing it. Exactly that, and it's like nothing to like me and Peter when we're in there. We know how to do all that stuff, so we're happy to get in there and play with other people that never done it before. You want to jump on with this? Jump on. So it's what I expected the game to be. So
great job.
I look forward to see what more they come out with this year. So
poor South, man. His I'm gonna try him one more time. His wireless is acting up on him. So
it's like Coop said, that Rare has also been very interactive with their gamers. They have regular podcasts, on YouTube or Twitch. They talk about the game. They listen to the feedback. They finally listened to the feedback about the double gun.
All right.
So we'll see. There's more that we would like. They've heard the criticism. So
yeah. So
and it sold well, even with Game Pass.
Very true.
I posted a deal on the deal. It still sold well. So I don't see how this game wasn't successful.
Right. And South, we were talking about how Rare, instead of packing it in and calling it a day, they stuck with it, brought out a bunch of updates. The game has become something.
Well, it's like an underground sleeper hit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because there's people that really hate it, and there's some people that really love it. It's kind of like black and white. There's no gray area. You either hate it or you love it, and you can't help but respect what Craig and the team has done. They've really, like you said, they bring in all these DLCs, and are we even talking about Game Pass yet? That's just phenomenal.
That's the natural segue, right? To talk about Game Pass now.
Yeah, right.
Sea of Thieves. Look, at this point, if you're not subscribed to Game Pass and you own an Xbox, I'm not sure what you're doing. That's just where we're at this point.
Yeah.
Game Pass is incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fast, did we lose you now?
No, I'm still here.
Okay. You're... Oh.
My camera, like I said, it pauses every once in a while, and it just...
I thought you were checking on your expiration.
But real quick to Niall in the chat, like he said that they should have had all this from the beginning. And I understand that, but the thing is, with multiplayer games, online servers, no game can ever... everything they want to put on in the game, the devs, they just can't do it at the beginning. Because if you try to do too much, you're going to break something. Especially being online on servers. You want the game to work from the beginning. And I think Sea of Thieves, that it did run well when we first jumped in, right, Peter? Like, we didn't really have many issues with the online in the beginning, like some multiplayer games. So I think they did a good job. Like, get the core game in there, let us learn what this game is about. So
and also Rare learned as well as they went along. I mean, they have
Yeah.
like a million ideas and what is going to work,
Exactly.
It's
So
like,
even what they do patches every week
mhm.
along with the DLC. So when they fix something, sometimes it breaks something else, and then we have to give them that feedback, and then they go and fix it. So we all want everything in these games when they first come out, but you just in reality you're not going to get that.
It's very trial and error.
Yeah, it's what patches are for and DLC. So I'm fine with that.
Yeah, and then like I said, nothing but respect and hats off to the team at Rare because Sea of Thieves is ambitious. It's a huge undertaking, going from Avatar games, to Sea of Thieves. That's a big jump.
It is. It is.
Connect Sports. That was all fun and stuff, but no,
Still so
Sea
much
of
fun,
Thieves,
though.
that's for sure.
No.
Oh yeah, I'm not knocking it.
No.
Big difference.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's good. So we went from Sea of Thieves, and the next one up in that, which also came to Game Pass, was State of Decay 2. Little more subdued for a launch from Sea of Thieves, but I know some of you guys put decent time into the game. I did not, so I'll let you guys. You guys take the mantle on this one.
Okay, so I had a lot of fun. I mean, I reviewed it. I was one of the people who got to try it out ahead of release and then check it out. I did not have the technical issues that some other people had with it, and I'll stand by that statement when I wrote my review. Nevertheless, I can definitely co-sign statements from other people where it's like, this is good. This wasn't really a big jump up from the first game either. And look, I get it. We talked to Undead Labs, talked to Richard Fogey about how them being a part of Microsoft now is a bigger deal. There was some mixed messaging problems. This was never really meant to be AAA. It was just meant to be a slightly better version of the first game, and that's okay. I'm more excited for the future of Undead Labs at this point than I am State of Decay 2 itself. And I had my fun with it. I probably put about 40 hours into the game. I had a lot of fun.
Funny, I can't even add nothing to that. You just hit the nail on the head, because like you said, it wasn't a AAA game, and it wasn't supposed to be, but it was fun, and I put well over 100 hours into it, and like I didn't have a bunch of glitches and all that a lot of people had,
Oh no!
It's glitching. He got glitches.
And Sony's got Sony keeps sniping him out.
Well, I'll continue. I put hundreds of hours in it. That was my second most played game for 2018. Like I said before, I had a lot of fun in it. I was a big fan of the first one. I was looking forward to this. I knew it wasn't going to be a AAA, but it was a step up. So, and like Sam said, they kept a lot of the features that worked in the first one, and they kept it in the second, added others, and so a lot of things were similar. But no, I enjoyed the game. I didn't really play a lot of online, even though they added the online to it. We played a little bit in the beginning, and I know you, Mike, and Peter and Coop. Y'all, it was okay for y'all, but it wasn't your thing. So y'all left me solo, and I just had to keep playing by myself. But
I rescued you a few times.
Yeah, you did.
At least once.
You did. But what was cool about it, you could just jump in someone's game and stuff like that.
Right.
But I was just more interested in just like running all around town, gathering stuff, killing the blood. What was it called, Sam?
The plague hearts.
Plague hearts. I thought that was fun, a good ad, and just the building aspect of it was they added more to that, a little bit more depth. Some of the characters just interacting and just recruiting and kicking them out and stuff like that. So great game, good step up. It sold well. It was number one game the month of June, or was it March?
The month of May, actually.
May, yeah.
Its debut month, it was the top, and it did drop off after that. But honestly, the fact that I mean, it really dropped off.
Yeah, which is understandable. But, yeah.
But I mean, the fact that it was the top game that month, the fact that it was, above things like Detroit, Far Cry, God of War, even just for a brief period of time, was okay. This thing has some fans. I do want to give a little bit of criticism. I know they're a smaller team, and it's fine. Mm-hmm. It's just a bit of tough love. I do think if we're comparing support from like Rare or Undead Labs, that Rare definitely did a much better job with Sea of Thieves. Undead Labs kind of stalled for a little while, getting some of that stuff fixed and then getting some of the DLC out. So it's understandable why Sea of Thieves has sort of continued to skyrocket to keep that momentum, and State of Decay 2 has been like, okay, we're growing a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the team has learned a lot at the same time, and I think once they wrap up support for State of Decay 2 sometime by mid this year, is what I've heard, then after that, things should look good for them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and getting getting owned by Microsoft can't hurt.
Yes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Which I suppose that brings us to our next topic, right?
Yes, although I'm waiting on South is having trouble with his laptop, so he's switching to his phone. So we'll call him back in a minute and get him involved. But yeah, that's so I'm trying to think. So we get to we get to E3, right? And all of a sudden, Microsoft's kind of, they've got their own thing going over at the Microsoft Theater. They're having their big press conference that they're going to be doing again this year, and we'll talk about that towards the end. And Phil comes out on stage all happy and announces that Microsoft has been a little busy. just a little busy. And they had decided that they wanted to make a big play into building up their first-party studios, right? Mm-hmm. While, some people said that they, we're going to sell off and they don't have a large the checkbook is no longer there. Remember all that talk?
Yeah.
So I remember, and then Phil comes out and says, "Well, we decided to make some studio acquisitions. A couple of them we knew about, worst kept secrets in the universe."
Well, the thing is, it's very hard to hide anything that goes on in the UK when it comes to game studios. A lot of that it's legally required to be publicly listed. So Playground had leaked a couple of weeks beforehand, which they were huge. But I'm interrupting. You rattle off all the names.
No. Hey,
go ahead.
you sir, are the media guy. You are the tick writer. I'm okay with you dropping knowledge on us here.
All right. Well, I mean, so the 5, technically one of them wasn't an acquisition, right? One of them is the startup, and we had kind of been furrowing our eyebrows because they said back in April that Matt Booty had taken over Microsoft Studios and that they had brought Daryl Gallagher on board the team. And because that team only consisted of studio heads, it was kind of like, okay, what are you doing there?
All right.
What's up?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yep.
Oh, hey, Sal.
Hey, there he is.
We got you.
So,
I had to switch my phone, man. That
That's
laptop
all right.
was just ridiculous.
It's all right.
We're talking about E3 now.
Yeah.
Nice.
So if you turn your phone sideways, it'll widescreen you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That up.
Boom.
There you go, man. Nice.
Oh, he's got the crown behind him.
Right. Hey, have the crown, the headboard.
Nice.
Absolutely.
We can infer what we want.
So Daryl Gallagher, he's in charge of the initiative. It's going to be a while. They're hiring a lot of top-tier talent from Creative Assembly, Rockstar, Sony Santa Monica. I don't know what those guys are cooking up over there, but it's going to be big, whatever it is. So that's awesome. Then they announced that they've acquired
Undead. Got something up there, because I know before the Game Awards, Phil said he was heading over there to check out the progress.
Oh, yeah.
So they have something big cooking.
And Drew Murray, who was an Insomniac vet, he came out of retirement to come work for them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Something big's going on.
The return of Scalebound. Here it comes.
No, stop.
Stop. Talking about that the last week or so, and yeah, I know they renewed the IP, but the trademark for the IP. It's not happening. That ship sailed. Yeah. Sorry, we already talked about Sea of Thieves, but yeah, that idea is dead.
That ship is sunk. That ship is scuttled. Leave it be. But 4 ships that are not scuttled is Undead Labs, Playground Games, Compulsion, and Ninja Theory, which to me was the biggest surprise of the show. Yes. Them acquiring Ninja Theory. That was the moment where you can't really tell on the audio because of the cheering coming from all the different rows, but there was an audible gasp if you were sitting there in the arena. Like, people couldn't believe it. Well, I couldn't believe it. I had to do a double take as to what was going on. That was crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I remember our reactions here. I mean, I was like, what? Are you kidding me? Ninja Theory? No one even saw that coming. Nobody saw that coming. Undead Labs, you could kind of make a case. They're stated.
They owed it to them, right? They owed it to Undead.
That was pretty much a given.
Yeah.
Right.
Playground seemed like a matter of time.
But Playground, it would have been insulting for them not to pick them up. Yeah. Honestly. Yeah. With how much work those guys. Forza Horizon has carried Xbox in terms of exclusives, honestly.
Oh my God. Hey, listen, I don't really like racing sims, but Forza Horizon is just phenomenal.
Man, I'm right with you. I don't play racing games, but Forza Horizon 4 is like my 3rd favorite game this year. Like, it's just that good.
Well,
so it's accessible though.
When it comes to like car sims and all that, I hate when you have to, like, even sandbox games, when you have to, or open world games where you have to drive to a certain point, and to me that is so monotonous and annoying. I don't enjoy them. You know what I mean? But for some reason, the Horizon, it's just amazing to me, and it's just nonstop fun, and I love it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And so, I mean, they got them in the fold. Ninja Theory, Compulsion, a bit of an odder pickup, but hey, you know what? You've got a couple of Arcane devs in there. You got a couple of ex-Bioshock guys. Cool. Let them whip up something. Let them grow. Let's see what they do. And this was definitely, we can't overstate how important this was for Xbox as a brand. To see Phil making that statement, that commitment of, yeah, we're investing. We're investing in new teams. We're investing in new studios. We're investing in new IPs. It's just going to be some time now. That was a big thing that I think Xbox fans needed to see. The consumers needed to see that.
Well, and it just goes to show you the job that Phil has done to win over Satya.
Yeah.
Now, and I'm not trying to talk, trash about anybody, but I think for a long time, Terry Myerson kind of had his foot on the neck of Xbox. You know what I mean?
He did.
He was a Windows OS guy. I mean, he wasn't. He didn't understand the business.
Exactly. We were about to say the same thing. He didn't understand gaming like Phil does, and now I think to a certain point, Satya does, because now you see, when these interviews with Satya Nadella, that he brings up gaming and Xbox. Like now, Xbox has a seat at the big table. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're eating with the big boys. They're not just the little kids at the children's table. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely, South. This is the first time that gaming has been its own division at Microsoft. I know people take a certain tweet from a certain sales guy out of context when he said that, the Xbox budget has been cut. Okay, but there's a time where that was true. There was a time when that statement was, in fact, true. So Phil, getting that seat with Satya and, being promoted to vice president or president of corporate gaming, that's a big deal.
Huge.
Well, and it showed, you got to remember that division is not a losing division for them. It brings revenue in now, just like everyone else.
It does. It's bringing 20-some% of revenue.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
I need to double check the numbers, but it's bringing in billions.
Yeah.
It's bringing in billions.
And they are, they're so integrated with things like Microsoft Azure and to an extent, the Windows platform, because that's still kind of the, it doesn't say it outright, but that is still the platform that the Xbox runs on, the core platform. So I mean, they're so interweaved now into Microsoft's fabric. That it does make it laughable every time you hear Microsoft's. This is they're going third party, or they're only going to be PC. They don't.
They're
going to
sell off Xbox. Yeah.
Right. They're never going to make another console. There's no way that's not. There's no way.
That right there is so just idiotic. Why would they put Phil at the head of the table like that? You know what I mean? If Xbox didn't have, a spot in the bigger picture, they wouldn't be making all these, studio acquisitions, and, they wouldn't say, hey, Scarlett's coming. I don't know. It just, some people just love to hate just to hate.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you got to ignore those folks at this point, because at this point, it's obvious that they don't know what they're talking about. They have their heads buried in the sand. You can be upset about certain things. You can criticize things. That's fine.
Yep.
Believe me, that's more than okay. That's literally part of my job. But you'd have to be an idiot not to see the moves going on, not to see the pieces being shuffled around at this point.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at.
They're on track for a long-term growth.
Listen, the next Xbox, whatever it's going to be called, man, I can't wait to see what the lineup that's going to be.
Yes.
When it comes out, the launch titles. I'm excited. I can't even say it. I'm like, You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure, man.
Infinity.
Hey,
Keep just floating.
Halo.
So.
Yeah.
And
it's exciting all around, no matter what platform. I think that the gaming industry is healthy as hell.
Oh yeah.
So,
Man,
but it's not going to make the Xbox, One X, for example, and maybe the S. Who knows? It's not going to make those obsolete either. And that's the great part, is you're gonna be able to play these games on down the line, and if Phil is truly with his No Man Left Behind, whatever comes out at launch for Scarlett, hopefully I'm not left out of playing. Whatever the next.
Well, and that's what everyone's saying. You'll be able to play the games from the next Xbox on your Xbox One, but and I'm not saying doing a tit for tat, but you won't be able to do that on the PlayStation console. And to me that's sad, because listen. If you can only afford one thing, like you're saying, Mike, what if I can't afford the next console? I want to play the latest games. If I'm a PlayStation fan, I want to play the next God of War. I want to play the next, Spider-Man or whatever on my PlayStation 4. Why are you going to force me to get the next console? When I just bought a PlayStation, just recently. You know what I mean? Like, if I just went out and bought an Xbox One X, and then next year, they got a new console and a whole new lineup, why would you going to segregate us as gaming fans?
Right.
That's BS.
Well, and I'm curious. I am waiting to see what Sony has to say about that. I've been holding on to the theory that going forward, all of these, these two platforms anyway. My Nintendo, who knows what in the hell they're doing, but we're sitting on a PC platform for these, and I can't imagine that Sony's gonna come up with a brand new chipset that's not backward compatible, in that realm.
I think that Sony would be foolish not to see the upside to backwards compatibility and how big that was for Xbox. You know what I mean? Because that's a big selling point for the Xbox platform, is backwards compatibility.
Go ahead, Sam.
You can see it's a little early for next gen talk, in my opinion. It believe it or not, it is still a little early. But I will say, hardware-wise, the PS5 and the Xbox, whatever the heck they call it, are probably going to be closer than ever. Because both Sony and Microsoft want to come in at the top here. They're probably going to be working with the exact same technology and the exact same chipsets, just slightly customized and tinkered with to suit their needs.
Yeah, this is going to be a battle. This is going to be a battle of games. This is going to be a battle of who's
and
got
games mainly, and then services
and services.
So, there's going to be an Xbox app on your PlayStation, so you'll still be able to play the best games on PlayStation.
Right.
If I hear that one more time,
oh my god. So
makes me want to blow my brains out.
So Microsoft wasn't done, by the way. In case anybody forgot, they had a little show. They had a little show later on in the year in New Mexico where they announced a couple of more studio bring-ins. In Exile and Obsidian.
Yep.
I think we were all, and again, I think we were all. It was like the shiny ball over here was Obsidian. Everybody kind of like it was like becoming.
Man, their new IP. Woo wee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me that game don't look beautiful.
Yep. And everybody better be lucky they're getting it because. The one thing, and I give this credit to Microsoft as well, that in acquiring these studios, they have not once, with Compulsion, with Obsidian, has not once said, "Hey guys, guess what? Now you're not getting the game." Even with Mojang, I mean, with Minecraft, which is still on every platform known to man. They did not pull We Happy Few off of PS. In fact, I'm still surprised that game has not gotten in the Game Pass yet. I
hang on.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's coming.
Hang on. They're waiting. I've heard they're waiting for the DLC to be added.
Okay.
And then that they're going to. But do a compilation of a We Happy Few Super Happy Edition, and then it has the DLC as well, and that goes into Game Pass.
Yeah.
So.
That'll work.
Yeah. Pocket Full of Joy Edition. You know what I mean?
Pocket Full of Joy. Yeah, exactly. But Microsoft's modus operandi is not to interrupt what they're doing. Future projects and future IPs and all that good stuff is going to be exclusive to the Xbox/Windows ecosystem. Whether through streaming or you buy the disc or digitally or whatever, but they're not in the habit of taking away games. And why would you? It gives you bad PR and you don't get as much revenue.
No. Obsidian's new game, multi-platform, I think that's a smart decision. And future game will be Xbox exclusive, but right now, look at like Mass Effect, how that was an Xbox exclusive and then it went multi-platform. There's pluses and minuses for that, and it was super smart for them to run out and get Obsidian. I was surprised they didn't jump on the team that came out with Ark. You know what I mean?
That's another one to throw up there. But for me, if you don't mind, I have two immediate takes regarding the studios. We'd heard about Obsidian, through Clobriel, who is, if you're not following him on Twitter, you need to be following him. That is an interesting guy, to say the least. And then, Jason Schreier reported on it as well. So Obsidian, we practically knew was happening. But I like how absolutely no one saw In Exile coming at all. No. That was huh? Who? Wait,
yeah, I'm quite unfamiliar with that team.
They're a good team.
Wasteland.
Wasteland. Well, they make some classic RPGs. Bard's Tale.
Well,
Bard's Tale.
I'm not a big RPG guy. That's why I'm not really familiar with it.
Well, guess what?
It will be now.
You need to get it moving.
I still don't think I will. You know what I mean? Because RPGs for me, maybe I'm just a dumb shooter guy. You know what I mean? Because it makes me think too much, and I like to escape. I don't want to have to think too much. I want to just get lost in a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that's okay. That's perfectly
okay. That's fair.
The beautiful thing about gaming is there's something for everyone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And once again, it will be in Game Pass. So
yeah,
if you want to check it out, you can.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And like building on that HTK, the fact that you have all these studios that are all going to be putting stuff in, it all goes into Game Pass, that's going to be crazy. If you thought your backlog was bad before, hold on, you ain't seen nothing yet. You ain't seen nothing at all.
Everybody thought that Game Pass was dumb and silly, and then in the last 6 months, how everyone's like, "Oh my God, Game Pass is Game Pass that." Well, just a year ago, everybody was taking a steaming dump on it.
Well, that's
now,
and that's been something that Game Pass this year has been so phenomenal that I think they have won over a lot of the third party folks.
Oh yeah.
I mean, look at
honestly, Sony has to be sitting there like, damn.
Well, look what they're doing. Look what they're doing in response. Look what they're doing with PlayStation Now. Now you can download your games. If they get their pricing in line, I would be very interested in it. I'm an EA Access guy, and you know what? I may not play a quarter of the EA Access games, but I'll pay that $30 a year for the opportunity. Oh yeah, it's Mustang o'clock. And Game Pass. Look, I don't get a chance to play a good chunk of the Game Pass games, but the fact that I was able to just roll up on Ashen, Rocket League, not Rocket League, Laser League, below.
Rocket League's in there too.
Rocket League's in there now, but I bought Rocket League. I mean, I bought that game. But I mean, just the fact that, and you're right.
What about next month? Crackdown,
right?
Crackdown 3, yeah. And the fact that we're now seeing
download it with Game Pass now.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yes, exactly. That's a huge deal. And the fact that now, not only is it Microsoft's first party, we're starting to see other third-party games launching in there, like Mutant Year Zero or Ashen or Below, or this month Absolver. I mean, I know Absolver has been on other platforms, but when it came to Xbox, it launched directly into Game Pass. It's like
Warhammer Vermintide 2 was a big title to come out.
That was great. Oh yeah.
And now, I don't know if you guys saw, but Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. Oh my gosh! I mean, it's crazy. For Peter, Farming Simulator 17.
Yeah, well, I already bought it. Still, like 2 Black Fridays ago or something. Still need to play it, but at least now we can play together.
Corn rolls going, brother.
I'll come over. I'll help plant potatoes.
And what was that one game? The racing game. Was it Rush?
On Rush.
And how it came out, and it was $60, and then month later, then it's on Game Pass.
Yep.
I mean, Game Pass is the best value in gaming right now. There's
point blank.
Yep.
And like I said, just a year ago, everybody was just dogging it. I was no doubting it, to be honest with you, because I was like, oh, it's all these 3-year-old games, and there's really no it's not really worth it. And I was like, thank God I had a free trial to it, and slowly but surely they started getting better games and then they announced, oh well, all our first party are going to be there, and I'm like, wow, they just threw a mean curveball.
Yeah, that was huge. That was a game changer.
No, it is. It's definitely an ace in the pocket, and I just wow. I mean, what more can you say?
Yeah.
No. What more can you say? If you have an Xbox, you need to be on Game Pass. That's all there is to it. And not going to name names. Nothing's really certain, but I'm going to say this: the acquisitions and the new studios started. It's going to continue this year. Yeah. I guarantee it.
Oh yeah.
They're not done.
No, they're not done. I think everybody who understands what they're trying to do knows that. I think everybody
nobody would be surprised. No. Because I mean, they're all following the Netflix, game plan and playbook. Look at Netflix is just running away with the competition, and everybody wants to mimic that.
Right. And this, to an extent, we're not even talking about something that's Netflix. We're talking about, this isn't streaming. This is downloading them to your machine and playing them. It's that in and of itself was such a big idea. And I still think in 2019, because they've now been able to do that and they've been able to figure out how to license things without the original 2013 plan. I think this is the year we're going to get our trading store, our trading, I'll call it the Xbox trading post, where you could start trading games with your friends and stuff like that digitally. And I think that's coming this year. I think they're going to figure it out, and
or some kind of sellback maybe.
I have
yeah.
Yeah, I have a full article where I'm going to very soon. I'm going to be talking about what I think Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo are up to this year. So I don't want to spoil too much of that, but basically, this is going to be Microsoft's final coasting year and beginning of an experimentation.
Oh, yeah.
If that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I've been saying it for a while
there's a lot of good stuff coming out this year. No, go ahead.
No, I've been saying for a while now that Xbox, they don't have the first party lineup that Sony does, but they're the ones that, on the technology side, they're the one they're pushing the envelope, and they're just separating themselves technically with the technology, just head and shoulders above the competition, and it shows. They're willing to listen to their fans and their communities, and take that extra mile, because they obviously they're not in the lead and they're not going to win this generation, but they're making buku bucks, and like I said, they're still experimenting, so they can afford to do that. Trial and error. Yeah. It's not now. Oh, well, you're going to take this and love it, or get nothing at all. Now they're listening to everybody and like, hey, what do you think about this? Because they're in a good space. And they're setting themselves up for the next generation perfectly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but one thing too is that people need to understand that this is Xbox's third gen, right? Sony's already went through their third gen. They made their mistake last gen, their third, and they turned things around. I don't know how many studios they had last year. Did they acquire a couple last year? And during when they first started out, they didn't have that many studios right off the bat, right?
You're talking about Sony?
Yeah, I'm sure over time they acquired these studios.
They've acquired a few. Yeah, Naughty Dog was acquired back in the day. Their most recent acquisitions were Media Molecule and Sucker Punch in 2011.
Yeah.
Or 2010. They've closed a couple down this gen. Gorilla Cambridge in the UK, unfortunately, which I'm sorry Riggs was great. Riggs was a great PSVR game, and they made the best Killzone as far as I'm concerned. It is what it is, but Sony seems to have plateaued out. You're right, Fast. Like they figured things out. They're not in dire straits anymore. So certainly not with God of War doing gangbusters. They're
in their fourth gen. They made their mistakes in the past, and they turned things around.
They own the studios, right? They just own the IP. So they didn't need to have the whole kit and caboodle. They had the meat and potatoes. They didn't need the dessert and everything else. You know what I mean? So it worked for them. Like you said, they had their the PS3. Yeah, they caught up to the 360 and everything. In the end, but they had their trial and error. Now Xbox had their trial and error. Second half of Xbox's Xbox One generation has been hit or miss, and their misses have been huge misses, and their hits have been pretty damn good. Like we're talking about Game Pass, you know what I mean? Like there's so much to be positive about and to be excited for. Like you said, this year it might be a little bit coasting, and then there's we got like Gears coming out and Crackdown. There's gonna be a lot of good games coming out first party.
Ori,
but
man, I'm looking forward to Ori.
Yeah, Will of the Wisp.
Exactly. So, like you said, a good point about it's going to be their last kind of coasting year. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I'd say it's about 50-50 coasting and gangbusters, work.
Right.
Yeah.
Sony's definitely coasting this year, too.
Oh, yeah.
So, we all know what's coming up next year, so.
Yeah, we kind of do, and now there's no E3 for them this year, which, that show is, to me that show is, I've said it, it's on its way out. In fact,
which is sad.
it is. It's very sad, but it's. I think the what was it, Chris? That you said you saw a big kick up in attendance for PAX.
PAX this year, which is next weekend. Xbox is gonna have a booth there for Game Pass. They've had Mixer there the last 2 years, and Sony's gonna have 2 booths there. Capcom has been there since the last 3 years, and Bandai Namco is going to be there. They're going to have a booth, so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be fun.
Yeah,
I'm going to be able to play some of these AAA games that are coming out this year. So,
talking about PlayStation, skipping E3, I think that's so sad for their fans and their partners. Because they still have games that they have the what's it called. The license with you would think they want to show off them games for their partners, and their fans. They didn't do their PlayStation experience this last year. Now there's going to be no E3 for them. I feel bad for their fans.
Yeah, they're going to be at PAX. I know Days Gone is going to be at PAX, so I'll check that out. But
I'd be surprised if Dreams wasn't. Dreams is probably going to be there as well.
I didn't see that on the email, but. We'll see. I mean, if it is, I'll definitely let you guys know next week. So
cool.
I hope so, because the game's got to come out sometime.
Yeah.
In theory.
Yeah.
Dreams and Crackdown 3. That's been the story all generation, right? When are those two things coming out?
Well, we got a Crackdown date. Before.
We got one locked down. Now we need the other this year.
Yeah.
So
one thing too, I want to give a quick shout out to a program that Xbox has these past few years is game preview. This is their early access program, and I've like Ark. I've hundreds of hours in Ark. Elite Dangerous was positive in there. We Happy Few, it didn't turn out exactly what we saw at E3, but they listened to the people that bought into it. They made changes, and it's different. I've seen Invader. Invader was playing it, streaming it, so it looked pretty cool. The Subnautica, I heard that one was a pretty cool game.
Yeah. I still want to try that out.
I got to try that too.
And I tried it a long time ago when it just came out in game preview.
And early this year, PUBG. Mm-hmm. When PUBG came out in it, very successful.
Yep.
They had quite a few people that were on that playing on game preview.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to give a shout out to Game Preview and Game Pass.
Xbox, and that's what I'm saying about Xbox. On the technological side, so I'm tongue tied. They're the ones they're experimenting, and they're trying new things. Not just they don't, like I said, they don't have the God of Wars and stuff like that, but they do have, like you said, a game preview, Game Pass. They're doing other things.
Yeah. They did their best to bring games to us that, like, to kind of make up for the lack of studio big games that they don't have. I mean, it is what it is. So, and no matter what, I've enjoyed playing games on Xbox. It is my preferred, but I've never had trouble finding a game. That's for sure. I got a backlog.
Well, and it's funny because when you open up the Game Pass, and then you're like, oh, that looks good. Oh, I'll download that. Oh, that one looks good. I'll download that. And, next thing you know, your hard drive is full, and you're like, oh my god! In like 5 minutes, you just downloaded 15 games.
Seriously, man, I've downloaded so many games because I'm like, oh, I might try that one of these days, and I'm like, I've got a 5 terabyte hard drive, and it can't take much more. I'm gonna have to start deleting stuff soon.
Yeah.
So. And don't forget too, we talked about backward compatibility earlier. That got a boost this year too. In 2018, man, they added over 100 titles to it, and the Xbox enhanced titles. Some of them took people by surprise. Like I will.
Yeah. Whoever thought that was going to happen? Original Xbox titles on Xbox One.
Dude, I was told it was a waste of time. I was literally told, Mike Ibarra said, that is a waste of time, and then turned around and did it. And you know what? It got me to go back and play Breakdown, which was, one of my favorite Xbox games that I did a monster stream of. And some of the guys in the chat room hung with me for like 8 hour at a time clips. And Full Spectrum Warrior and stuff like that. And one of the things that one of the surprise titles for I know Peter and I and Rick Lagnese from Warhorse, man, we fired up.
Yeah. I love that man.
Yes, he's awesome. We fired up Ghost Recon Advanced Warfighter on the 360, and I remember firing it up and starting to play, and I'm like, Rick, is it me or does this seem smoother than I originally remember? And sure enough, it was because they unlocked the frame rate in the emulator, and the damn thing was running at close to 60 frames per second, and the Xbox 360 version was only 30. So I mean, they were unlocking this year. They were unlocking games in
from 2006.
Yeah,
right.
It's insane. It's absolutely insane. The engineering team and the software teams over there are wizards with what they've done with the X, what they're doing with back compat, and now what they're going to be doing with Project Stream. Because Bill Stillwell, by the way, who was the guy in charge of the back compat program, I think it's very telling that he's now the one in charge of Project xCloud, overseeing all of that. I mean, just back compat, Final Fantasy 13, they contacted Square and acquired the original high-resolution videos that weren't on the 360 version because it wouldn't fit on the DVD disc. It would only fit on the PS3's Blu-ray disc at the time, and they've got that in the back compat now. I mean,
that's insane.
It's wizardry.
Yes.
It's insane.
It's insane.
And I love it.
Well, yeah, they actually took the time and the care to go back and do that.
Yeah. I mean,
it's complete fan service.
To go back and touch up games like Crimson Skies, to go back and work on the Knights of the Old Republic 2 and Jedi Starfighter and all those. The one that I haven't had a chance to fire up yet, and I've been wanting to, is the Orange Box, Portal and Half-Life.
I booted it up for about 5 minutes. It looks good. It looks really good.
I mean, but this is, and there's like 60 enhanced titles that are backward compatible that are 4K with HDR and the whole 9 yards. I mean, that's what 2018 came for backward compatibility. I mean, this has been one hell of a year for Xbox, even without having these God of War and Spider-Man games. I mean, I get it. Those are we talked about it with PlayStation Bra. Sony brought some incredible quality games to the forefront this year, and I mean, God of War was my game of the year. It just was, but
it's my runner-up. I hear you.
But Microsoft took a different track this year and had such great success on their own things, and they keep. It has to be working because the Xbox One X is selling better than they'll tell you otherwise, but I guarantee you the Xbox One X is exceeding the expectations of what Microsoft like. I don't think at all that I don't think Phil and Aaron and those guys thought that it would sell as well as it did.
Oh no! Like sales analysts will tell you. Benji Sales, that's his username on Twitter. He's a great guy. Or Matt Piscatello will tell you it's sold much better than what Microsoft originally imagined. The Pro has too, by the way. The Pro's been more of a success than it's only imagined.
Absolutely.
But the X has been a runaway success, and what this has shown, which will be useful information in the future, is mid-gen upgrades are a thing. People are interested in mid-gen upgrades. People will pay for it.
Yep.
Great point. Yeah, because everyone wanted to compare the console space to the smartphone, space, and it's a refresh. Oh, who can afford it? Who can, I mean, you had these back and forths, conversations and arguments. The PlayStation Pro, the X, and this and that. But it's a good point that you made